Welcome to the June 2014 episode of Iowa City in Focus. I'm your host, Mary Bryant. Now that it's summer break, you may be looking for some outdoor activities where you can still keep cool. The City of Iowa City Parks and Recreation Department has you covered with 2 splash pads, one at Fair Meadows Park and the other at Weatherby Park, and an outdoor pool at City Park that has undergone some changes since last summer. On this month's episode, I'll talk with Matthew Eckhardt, Aquatics Program Supervisor for the City of Iowa City Parks and Recreation Department, and we'll take a look at the renovations at the City Park pool. You'll also get an update on some of Iowa City's newest public art projects as we feature the latest batch of benchmarks in downtown Iowa City, as well as Herky on Parade 2. Stay tuned! Today I'm out by the City Park pool and I'm talking with Matthew Eckhardt, the Aquatics Program Supervisor for the City of Iowa City. And we're talking about the renovations that are happening here at the pool. So Matthew, can you start off by telling me why were these updates necessary?
Sure. Well, in 2010 they passed an ADA compliance law and we were required to update quite a few things. We went through and did a check on all our facilities, all the aquatic facilities, to see what was compliant and what was not compliant. We were pretty good. One of the areas that we were missing was, of course, the wading pool here at City Park. It's an older facility, so a lot of the things when they were built and constructed were not up in code as they would be now. So that was the main factor of why we decided to move forward with the project. There was a couple of ways we could have went. We could have installed a ramp that would have led up to the pool and then down into the pool, and then ultimately would have to take a right turn to finish off the ramp. We did some measuring and some calculating. We figured it'd be about 30% of the usable space. So we said, well, that's not really good. We don't want to take a third out of the pool. So we built a new pool, and that's what they got going on right now. It's a 0 depth or a beachfront entry. It's about twice the size of the old wading pool, and it should be really, really nice for the kids once we get it open and running.
So did the city take advantage of the opportunity to renovate further?
Sure. We took on basically 2 more kind of larger projects. The first of which was an increase in the overall deck space. The deck space before, and you get into July and August, got really busy, very crowded. So we wanted to find a way to kind of alleviate that a little bit. Another thing we found is that when kids get on the deck, when they go from concrete spot to concrete spot, they were moving very fast because the concrete would get so warm. So they would move from puddle to puddle to puddle, and then eventually into the pool. So we said, well, let's try to add some more deck space and make it comfortable. In a way we did that, and yes, we did add more concrete, but most of the addition is all grassy area. So the increased fence line was another project we took on, fairly substantial, but it really accommodated the pool nicely. It brought in a lot of the park into the fenced area of the pool, so it kind of makes it fit really well. The other major project we took on is this large dirt mound behind us will eventually flatten out and become a graded, accessible picnic area. So we'll have tables brought in, there'll be some paving stones that are set down, and it'll be completely accessible. So parents will have a place to set up a camp or set up a picnic and enjoy the day.
Yeah, it looks like just the pool will be much more inviting to the people accompanying the swimmers.
Yeah,
it's a little sunbathing or shade bathing. And
right. We tried to make it a little more user friendly, a little more usability. We'll have some shade structures that will go in over the wading pool, so you'll have half the wading pool in the sun, and then the other half will be shaded. So if you have very small children, infants or younger, they'll have a place they can get in the water and mom and dad can be with them.
Yeah, that'll be really nice.
Yeah, very nice.
We'll come back to my conversation with Matthew in a moment, but first let's hear from some of the artists involved in this year's iteration of the Iowa City Downtown District's Benchmarks program.
My name is Mary Swanson, and I'm a local artist and one of the art teachers at Thomas Jefferson High School in Cedar Rapids. I'm one of the commission artists to paint one of the benches here in the Ped Mall. This year's theme was Tones of Home, and so I wanted to represent my former home of Chicago, Illinois, with my current home of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Because I was combining the 2 cities, I wanted to use of various different medias and techniques. So I wanted to represent the urban lifestyle of Chicago with spray painting with the more traditional aspect of Iowa using the acrylic paints.
My name is Addie Taylor, and this is my first year doing the Benchmarks project. I wanted something that would be applicable to everyone. I didn't want it to be specific for my situation in my particular home, and I figured that, you know, the environment is kind of a worldwide issue with global warming and stuff. So I figured that I would kind of shoot for a message of keeping the earth our home and treating it like our home and keeping it clean.
My name is Emily Hughes. The theme was Tones of Home this year, and since I'm actually an interior designer, I kind of wanted to try to make it look more like an upholstered bench someone might have in their house, so that's where the idea for the decorative pillows came from. But that was kind of, I took it kind of literally for your home. I just hope it's something visually stimulating that gives them something nice to look at and helps make it pretty down here.
My name's Ian Moriarty from Cedar Rapids. This year I'm doing a piece about pollution. This side's going to be nice, and the back side all the trees are going to be chopped down, and there's going to be factories dumping garbage into the lake. We live in a world where it was the individual actions of billions upon billions of people that ruined this planet, so it's the individual actions of billions and billions of more people that will correct those. So I don't know, if I can maybe encourage one kid or two kids to recycle, then maybe it helped.
I'm Nicole Zoe Miller, and I just got involved with Benchmarks. This is my first year, and I'm one of the artists. I'm from Bennett, Iowa. It's a little tiny town, and we had a very small farm, and we'd always help our dad feed the cattle. When we'd go outside, we'd see these beautiful Iowa sunsets, and I wanted to reflect my paintings on that and bring a little piece of the country into the city.
Being an artist and an art teacher, I feel sometimes that artists and artwork don't get as much exposure as we would like, and so the city allowing us to do this in a public setting kind of gives off the idea that it is important not only to the artists but also to the community, and I hope that young individuals as well as older individuals can see just how important the arts are within the community, within society, and that just by putting themselves out there in order to receive exposure for that.
Anyone in the general population can express themselves through art, and so public art is a very good way to share ideas without using words and without actually any contact really, and everyone can interpret it however they'd like. So I just think it's an interesting way to spread ideas.
Now let's return to my conversation with Matthew Eckhardt for more on the City Park pool updates, including its delayed opening date this summer.
One of the things that came up in one of our public forum meetings was a newer, safer stair system for the high dive. You see a lot of high dives moving out of facilities just because they're not compliant, the depths aren't quite right, so they'll remove those. And then the liability, of course, is so much higher. Well, we wanted to keep ours, and how can we do that and still keep it safe? So actually an individual brought this to our attention. They said, well, what about a safer stairs? And we thought, that's a great idea. So we looked into it, judged some of the pricing, and we found that we could fit it within our budget. And it's here, it's getting ready to be installed here in the next couple of days. It should be really nice.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Now, when is the pool going to open?
Normally we open Memorial Day weekend. This year, with the weather as cold it was in the winter and as cold it had been through the spring, we had to delay about 2 weeks. So right now we're doing some preparations that we would normally do a little bit earlier in the year, but Saturday, June 7th, that's when we'll open the doors.
So did anything have to get rescheduled because of the delay in the opening of the pool?
No, fortunately we don't start swim lessons at City Park Pool until about the 3rd week of June, so we didn't have to reschedule any of that. There will be some lap swimmers. We have a very dedicated, loyal group of long distance lap swimmers who love being able to swim a 50-meter pool outside. They'll be in here as soon as we're able to open, and unfortunately it'll be a little bit late for them, but I mean, what can we do?
Yeah.
It is the way it is.
And they do have indoor pools they can still go to until then.
Absolutely. Mercer Park and Robert A. Lee Rec are still available and still open. So
they just can't swim quite as long a lap.
Quite as long a lap, that's right.
And kids can still go to splash pads, right?
Yeah, the splash pads open Memorial Day weekend as scheduled. There's 2 in town. There's Fair Meadows and then at Weatherby. The new one being Weatherby, which just opened last summer. If you haven't checked them out, they're really cool. They're a lot of fun. It's free, cheap, great way to get to the park, get cooled off, and enjoy some aquatic features.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for talking with me, Matthew, and I can't wait until the pool opens and we get to see all of the new developments.
Neither can I. Thanks, Mary.
To check open swimming hours or to find out more about the pools and splash pads Iowa City offers, visit www.icgov.org/pools. But it's not all pools and splash pads. There are a number of other fun summer activities available to you. The City Park Carnival rides are also now open and running from noon to 8 p.m. every day through Labor Day. To learn more about the city's many parks, their locations and amenities, visit www.icgov.org/parks. And just a short way away from the carnival rides in Lower City Park is the Riverside Festival stage, where you can watch live theater happening outside with Riverside Theater in the park. This season you can catch the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged and revised, and Othello. Visit www.riversidetheater.org for a complete schedule. And don't forget about the many events hosted by Summer of the Arts that are happening this month. The Iowa Arts Festival will take place in downtown Iowa City from June 6th through the 8th. Children's Day is June 7th, and the Carnival Parade is happening that day at 3 p.m. Music IC will be happening from June 18th through the 21st. Each week there will be a Friday night concert to enjoy. Free movies start the week of June 14th. Go to www.summerofthearts.org for more details and a complete schedule. The Saturday night concert for the month of June will feature Orenda on Saturday the 21st and is co-sponsored by the Iowa City Pride Festival, which is happening June 16th through the 22nd. For more on the Pride Festival and Parade, visit www.iowacitypride.com. Iowa City Farmers Markets are also in full swing this month at Chauncey Swan Parking Ramp on Wednesday evenings and Saturday mornings, and at the Iowa City Marketplace on Tuesdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Learn more at www.icgov.org/farmersmarket. And now let's talk about the army of Herkies that have taken over the Iowa City area. No, it's not an invasion, it's Herky on Parade too. In 2004, Herky on Parade was introduced and became the largest public art project the Iowa City area had ever seen. Now, 10 years later, a new series of Herky on Parade is on display all across the University of Iowa campus in Iowa City, Coralville, and North Liberty. Local and regional artists of all ages were engaged to paint and embellish these Herky statues, including school children from area schools who competed to design some of the Herkies. Many area businesses and organizations sponsored Herky statues in support of this extensive public art project. The variety of themes and ideas expressed through the Herkies speaks to the creativity of our artists and the diverse array of interests pursued by members of our community. From natural foods to scientific exploration, fine arts, education, and beyond. These Herkies are more than just public art. They are reminders of the many-faceted character of our community. Which of the 83 new Herkies is your favorite? Check them all out at herkyonparade2.com. There you'll find their pictures and locations so you can check them all out in person through August. Then at Fry Fest on August 29th, the Herkies will be auctioned off during the Herky on Parade Final Farewell, and the proceeds will be donated to United Way of Johnson and Washington counties. It's public art for a good cause. You can watch all of these segments again by visiting citychannel4.com/video or by turning to Channel 5 and calling into Video on Demand. Check out some of our past shows while you're there. Also, if you like us on Facebook, you can receive updates about other City Channel 4 programs you may enjoy. Find us there at facebook.com/citychannel4. Thanks for watching this month's episode and keeping Iowa City in focus. We'll see you next time. You're watching City Channel 4. On TV, online, on demand, on Facebook, and now on the go on your mobile device.